Good morning and welcome to John Beck. This is your principal, Mr. Lin, and I hope that you had a wonderful Tuesday yesterday. Today is Wednesday, February 5th, 2025, and it is a day C for instrumentals. It's a day 5. Now, before we kick off this wonderful day, I want to invite you, as I always do, to please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Go ahead and take a seat. I am so happy that you guys are here in school. You've made my day. You don't have to do anything special other than just exist and be amazing John Beck kids, as you already are. You woke up that way. We've got 3 expectations here at the school. Number 1, be respectful to yourself as well as to other people. Give other people the respect that they deserve. Give yourself that respect, too, of not needing to get all worked up when plans change. Giving yourself that respect also means sometimes exercising the T-flex. Give yourself that permission to release from rock brain. Number 2, show that you are responsible with yourself, with your body, with the words that come out of your mouth, how you think. Thinking in positive can-do ways as opposed to in negative can't-do ways. You control quite a bit in your life. You should use that control to your advantage. Use that control in healthy ways, in ways that are encouraging to other people. And number 3, show that you're ready to be the best version of yourself, to help others be the best version of themselves. Look out for other people. And when you have moments where you get really worked up, going back to T-flex, that you're ready. Dig down deep and find that flexible side of you to be able to go with the flow and work well with other people. Once again, it is February, it is Black History Month, and this is a great opportunity to showcase the stories of so many amazing people that sometimes don't get enough love in our history books. And oftentimes, these people that I want to spotlight are people who are of African descent, African Americans. There was a time when being different with the color of your skin meant that you were not going to be treated right. It included slavery. And Harriet Tubman, as you remember, was born into slavery and followed the North Star and escaped from Maryland into Pennsylvania. She did not stop there, and she went back, risked being punished, and found first her friends and her family, and then many other families, and they all followed the North Star secretly through Maryland into Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania was a free state. You could live freely. In fact, slavery wasn't even allowed in Pennsylvania. That's our state. In 1850, a new law was passed around the entire country called the Fugitive Slave Act of 1850. And what that meant was that the slave catchers in Maryland didn't have to stay in Maryland. They could now come into Pennsylvania. That all of the newly freed ex-slaves who were living freely in Pennsylvania were now at risk of being captured again. And so, what does Harriet Tubman do? Well, she and a number of other conductors on that Underground Railroad decided we're going to make the Underground Railroad even longer. We're going to take it north into New York. We're going to go into New England, and we're going to keep finding all of these secret passages so that you leave America to a country that is to our north. It's not part of the United States of America, but it's called Canada. And Canada, for many, many years, had actually, the entire country had gotten rid of slavery. And not only that, because they're not part of the United States, they were not going to allow those slave catchers to come into Canada. There, they could live freely. It didn't matter what laws were changed. Those slave catchers were not going to be allowed to go into Canada. Harriet Tubman did many missions. She freed slaves. She got them to Pennsylvania, and for Pennsylvania, she helped get them up into Canada. And by 1861, our country was split into 2. You had the free states in the north, which included Pennsylvania, and they went to war with the slave states in the south, like Maryland, like Virginia. And during the Civil War, that's what this war was called, the president of the North, of the free states, was Abraham Lincoln. And one of the goals that Abraham Lincoln wanted to do was he wanted to free the slaves. Now, he needed people who had lived as slaves to help guide the army to go free those slaves. And one of those guides ended up becoming Harriet Tubman. Yes, Harriet Tubman, after she was a conductor on the Underground Railroad, joined the United States Army and helped lead Northern soldiers into the areas where they kept slaves and helped free them. She served not just as a guide, she was also, with her trusty frying pan, a cook. And because she was African American and could blend in and sometimes act as if she was a slave, she was also a top secret spy down south. And wherever she went, she would report back to the army of the North. Wherever there were slaves that could be freed, she would direct the army to go free them. So Harriet Tubman, what an amazing life she led, where America is an amazing country and we should be very proud of it. But there are moments in our history where things were not perfect. And it took really brave people, men and women, to stand up and do the right thing. The fugitive slave law was actually law. So when she was freeing people, she was actually breaking the law. How crazy is that? And yet it took courage to do the right thing. So that's Harriet Tubman. I hope you enjoy it. I'm out of time. I love you. I care about you. I'm here to encourage you. Go spread that message to other people. Have an awesome day. I like you just the way you are.